Yeah, this is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Let's go!
Hi, everybody. We had a special visitor today. Scott Cam came and joined us. Hadn't been in the studio with us for about 3 years. New season of The Block on the way.
And he brings up one of the most interesting things we've talked about all this year, a certain appliance. And then we bang on about it for the rest of the show.
We catch up with the WA guy, Rob, who was a winner of Channel 10's Hunted as well.
Yeah, nice
Rob.
one.
Some of the worst words you can hear is we apologise for any inconvenience. We find out what happened to these people and whether the apology was actually worth it.
And our mate Greg Hire was absolutely stoic in defeat at the Commonwealth Games. Silver medalists, they lost in overtime by 1 point. Devastating.
And we find out exactly how to waste the court's time.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Going to the airport it used to be such an exciting time. You'd be like, oh my God, we're going to be flying away. And you used to take the piss out of your parents because they get there 5 hours early.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what are you doing?
You'd buy another neck cushion.
Oh, I've got so many neck cushions. Nowadays, it's a bloody nightmare. And yesterday, that was proven again, proven right again. Perth Airport, we all know, had a power outage. It went dark. People had their phone torches out.
It's pretty grim, wasn't it?
Sitting around certain things in the dark are very creepy. One's a shopping centre, one's an airport. Yeah. It just screams zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
It does.
Just a bunch of high-vis workers sitting around in the dark seems weird to me.
Because these places are usually powered all the time.
Yeah.
So it's very weird to see it, it in darkness. So all the passengers were told if they had an outgoing flight to go home.
Yeah.
This was beyond their control. There was an electrical fault during,
because of the weather, yep.
So they were just told to leave. The inbound flights were still coming in, but those people that had connecting flights to go somewhere else out of Perth, they were stuck. And then
nobody would have been able to get their luggage either because,
It's been ongoing for such a long time, and we've seen story after story after story. Nat, when you went overseas, yours was
an absolute breeze. It was a breeze. There was no queue going through security, no queue going through immigration, everything. It could not have been smoother, even coming home. It was as smooth as.
I've only heard, and I've seen national stories of some nightmare flights overseas, but generally I've not heard any personally myself. Personally, I've heard about nothing but nightmare flights domestically in Australia. Domestically, no. To the point where I really seriously suggest that everyone take out travel insurance for domestic flights, which we normally would only be taking out for international flights.
That's right.
You wouldn't have never have considered to get a travel insurance to go to Sydney.
No.
That's insane.
But if you've forked out for accommodation and you can't get a refund on that easily, your only way to get your money back is through insurance.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's happening too often.
And I tell you, the statements these companies release, it's unbelievable. This is the part of the statement that was released by Perth Airport yesterday. It says all en route inbound flights will be able to arrive safely. All scheduled flights into Perth, which have not yet departed, will be delayed until further notice. The safety of everyone who works in or is travelling through our airport remains our highest priority. And then they finish with this part, which I'm sure a lot of us have gotten before, and it grates on your nerves. We apologise to our passengers and customers for any inconvenience.
I mean,
we apologise for any inconvenience.
Thank you so much.
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
A power outage is not their fault.
It's not their fault.
Sometimes things are, the fault of the airline or whatever because they got rid of all their staff.
I can tell you right now, one of the worst things that you can hear when something is going wrong is we apologise for any inconvenience.
So
because we know the inconvenience is great.
And also, I don't think that sorry is going to cut it. I really don't think that sorry is going to cut it. I remember when I was in Puzzle World over in New Zealand, and then I was in the maze. We had a day to waste, and I was in the maze with a mate, and then I was walking down the stairs with my little video camera. It was before we had video film. Little video camera out, filming my experience in Maze World, ready to show everybody. And then next minute, I just
went through the stair.
Went through the stair because the stair was rotten and just fell face first. I had skin all off my arms and stuff. My video camera was smashed. And then I was like, oh, my God. And then I went to the counter and all I got was an apology. Like, not even a free can of Coke. And it was basically, sorry for your inconvenience. And it's like,
we might have a look at that later.
I'm hemorrhaging. And I'm $500 out with a video camera. But thank you so much Thank you so much for your apology.
You're
The
sorry.
proceedings, and that is that we can go back now because you really should be able to sue the pants off those people.
I know.
They would have public liability insurance anyway.
They would have had it then.
Wouldn't cost them anything.
All I got was, I'm sorry about that. I know, they said, that's not good, is it? Sorry about that.
That's true.
And that's what I said, and I was like,
It's a true
Wait a
statement.
second.
are you shitting me? Is that how you say that?
No.
Anyway, we want to know.
You need to apologise for New Zealand, to New Zealand.
I'm so
for that
sorry,
accent.
New Zealand. But see, they're going to say that apology doesn't come.
It's not enough.
Whether you've been craving the ocean, snow, mountains, or city lights, there are so many possibilities for you and your next trip.
Yeah, make up for missed holidays and explore more of Oz with whatif.com.
Jump online or on the What If app.
What if? It's Aussie for travel.
We're talking about the 5 words that strike fear into any customer's heart. We apologise for any inconvenience.
Yes,
You're like,
Oh, no.
we'd like to know what that inconvenience was and whether the apology was enough. Hi, Elise.
Hi guys, how are you?
Great, Elise. Okay, what did they offer an apology for?
Okay, so I went into the hospital to get my gallbladder out, and when I woke up from surgery, I had a bit of a pain in the ass. And,
Oh my God,
And
what
look,
happened?
that's always a worry for anyone.
Yes, it is.
I actually had like a chemical burn the size of my palm on my butt.
What do you mean?
What did they do
Elise?
to you?
There was never ever an explanation. Like I get pretty moody, and I was like screaming till I was blue in the face, and they were like, "Oh, we're sorry.
Sorry.
Like we don't know what happened, so that's it."
Someone
I'm
burnt you with
sorry.
a
I'm sorry. If
chemical.
I've been burnt while I'm unconscious, being burnt on the ass with chemicals, I would like an explanation.
Yes.
Yeah,
And also-
like there was just nothing.
When you're having your gallbladder out, you're lying on your back, right?
Yes.
So how did the chemicals get on your butt in the first place?
This is my
Great
thing. This
question,
is my
Nat.
thing. And
What
you
were they
know
doing
what?
with
I'm
you?
sure that there's some amazing, very above board surgeons, but I'm sure a lot of them take pictures with your doodle. And
Yeah, I got no doubt.
Do you think
Sean,
they were
if you-
taking
if you
pictures
came
with
in-
Elisa's
Sean,
doodle?
Sean,
Yeah.
how many times have you been knocked out?
I've had about
Anesthetics,
8 or
you
9.
mean?
I'm sorry. Straight
8 or 9
away,
operations.
if you're a bit of a loose clinic,
Yep.
there'll be photos of people posing with your doodle. Straight out. Sean McManus, here's your doodle.
hey,
It's like a doodle, only smaller.
can you send me a pic? Chuck it on the ground.
People doing their own wristwatch, trying it on.
Thanks, Elise.
It's cold when you've got a gown on now.
You're
I'll
right,
say
it's
that.
very chilly.
Chantal, hello.
Hi, how you going?
Okay.
Hi, good Chantal.
When did they offer up an apology for the inconvenience?
So we recently took our 5 kids to Queensland on a holiday, and we went to Movie World like you do.
Yes.
And it was absolutely packed. My partner lined up 2.5 hours to get on the Wild Wild West ride with kids.
Oh.
And it was towards the end of the day. So they get to the front of the line, I'm not kidding you, and the ride broke down.
Chantal.
Were they sorry for any inconvenience?
Yeah, over the loudspeaker. We're sorry for any inconvenience. Please exit the line.
2.5
Oh,
hours.
that's it. Not even like
Here's a free drink.
like let's give you some chips or something.
Nothing at all. And we had kids in tears. My 8-year-old had waited for 2.5 hours to get on this ride, and he was just beside himself. It's the end of the day too. So we
Yeah.
couldn't
Oh,
even
yeah,
line up
so
Everyone's
knackered.
tired, cranky.
Hey, Chantel, the other rides, what was the time lapse being in line for any of those?
So when we first got there, 2 of my kids lined up for the big roller coaster there. I think it's like the biggest one in the
Yes.
Southern Hemisphere or
Yeah.
whatever. That was 2 hours lining up.
No.
And none of the other kids could get on anything because the lines were just too long. And then they lined up
Oh,
for that.
sounds like great
Can I
fun.
just say the right thing to do there
Yeah.
would be the people that you'd be able to tell who's lined up, so for maybe over a couple of hours, which would be the people at the front,
Yep.
would be to collect those people and then give them priority onto a next ride. That's
You would
it was
think.
a nightmare. And there was probably about 150 people lined up behind them as well.
Oh,
well, they were
do it.
sorry for any inconvenience.
Yeah, that's right. So,
that
I mean,
helped.
they've done all they can.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chantal.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We're talking about when a company says we apologise for any inconvenience, you're like, oh, no.
oh,
Yeah, 'cause
here
you know
we go.
why? I mean, compared to what happened, was the apology really enough, or did you think you deserved something? Hi, Cara.
Hello.
Hi, Cara.
Hi, Cara.
Tell us about this situation, and we'll see if the apology was enough.
So, I don't know if you guys remember, back in the day, there was the theme park, Disneyland Park.
Yeah, Disneyland Park.
Disneyland.
Oh, that's great.
So, you know those little boat rides that you sit on that you pedal, like in the water?
Yep.
Yes.
I went on one of those when I was really young with my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what happened. I don't know whether because of like the weight difference or whatever, but somehow I ended up in the water. And I was quite young, so I couldn't swim yet.
Yeah.
So pretty much almost drowned. But the officials didn't even do anything. They didn't do. It was actually a stranger that managed to pull me out of the water.
Yes.
And then when I finally sort of got myself right, the officials there were like, "Oh, you know, we're really sorry. We'd like to offer you another free ride."
On the place that you nearly drowned in.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
jump
exactly.
in. I'll finish the job off
Cara,
this time.
what was your dad doing? Why didn't your dad try and save you? What was he doing?
He did, but the water was like so dark and murky. I actually still remember being under the water and being that age. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to get eaten by a shark."
Yeah.
Because I was so young, I didn't understand. But yeah, he did. But the water was so dark, no one could actually see.
And you know what, though? And also,
lovely.
just on your dad as well, say if he wasn't really, that quick to get you out. Our parents, back then, they'll be right.
Yeah, they'll make it to the edge.
It doesn't matter what happened, fall off the roof, he'll be right. Drowning, they'll be right.
We're glad you survived, Cara, but I don't think the apology was enough. You're right.
Or the offer of a free ride.
To repeat the offence.
On the drowning
Thanks,
ride
Cara.
again.
Rudy, hello.
Hi guys, how you going?
Good, buddy. Okay, what were they apologising for?
Me and my friend worked at down south. We used to hang out in the mornings and grab a coffee on the way to work. So we walked into this well-known franchise. We go every morning, right? This particular morning was pretty dark because we're pretty early.
Yep.
So his name was Terry. He walked towards the door, what he presumed was the entry.
Yeah.
And normally on the glass panels, there's some sort of stickers to show door,
Yeah.
or there is glass.
Yes.
So he walked full speed into the actual fixed pane of glass and not the door.
Yes.
Broken his nose, 2 blue eyes the next day.
Oh.
And all I could say is, sorry, not even a free coffee. No.
You give him a free coffee.
I said to him, mate, you should sue the life out of them because there should be markings on the windows to say, hey,
this is a window.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry. That is actually a legal thing. You need to have something on there
You
to
do,
show.
actually. That's true, Nate.
That
How long ago was this, Rudy?
Mate, it was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
Really marries up with
It was a good
Nathan's.
number.
Maybe we can take Nathan, the New Zealand people at Puzzle World to task, and then we follow it up with these down south coffee
just
machine.
litigation.
Everyone.
Let's go Palmer on their asses.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, then they'll say you two idiots wasting
Yes,
the
exactly. Thanks, Rudy. Michelle, hello.
Good morning.
Hey,
Right, Michelle, what happened? What was the situation?
Well, I have a very good friend who's over at the Commonwealth Games at the moment. She's on the South African team.
Yeah.
And her hubby and the 2 kids thought, we'll go support Mum. And they'd flown from Joburg and landed in London and got up to Birmingham. It was about 7 o'clock at night, got to the hotel, and despite them having paid in full and had a confirmation email from the hotel, the hotel went, sorry, we've overbooked. We don't have a room for you. Here's the refund. Good luck.
No!
And, that was it. So it's 7 o'clock at night. He's in the middle of Birmingham on his own with a 3-year-old
At the busiest time in history in Birmingham.
Yes.
Yep, and absolutely nothing available. So, they got on Facebook, and I think they have a friend of a friend of a friend who had a living room floor that they're sleeping on for the 6 nights that they're there.
Oh, my God.
I was under the impression, because this does happen, that they might double book, but the onus was on the accommodation provider
Of course
to
it is.
find an alternative.
Not give you a...
Not just say, see you later.
Went, too hard, sorry, here's your money back.
Yeah.
Oh my! Imagine the rage
Sean.
after the travelling,
I'd
and then you
go
just want to
And
go
2
in
little
there.
kids as well.
You just want to put your stuff down. You want to get your bearings,
Yes.
and then you're on the streets.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean.
The Block is back on Channel 9. Scott Cam, the host with the most. It's got a country flavour this year, Scotty.
Yeah.
G'day, guys. It's so good to be back in Perth.
It's so good to have you back.
You know what? I heard a rumour,
What?
and it's not a rumour, it's actually fact, that you guys are the longest serving breakfast team in the world or something.
Oh, I don't know about in the world.
I know, I made that bit up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're nudging in Australia.
No one else will take us, so we just have to
It's-
stay
it's-
here.
it's called no
It's
options.
the longest serving breakfast team in Australia.
Are you sure?
It's in the Guinness Book of Records.
So
read them right
there's
here.
Amanda and Jonesy.
Yeah, but we've
Are they
been...
still together? So we've been longer than them?
Yeah, we've been longer than
But
them, I think.
have they changed stations along the journey?
No.
Kyle and Jackie O.
Hey, by the way, I'm still here.
Oh, no, sorry.
Scotty, the question.
You brought it up. This is on you.
See you later. Thank you so much, everyone. Watch the block.
Scott Cam talking about us.
Back to us.
Because Nathan always asks people, is it sad that we're still sitting in these
Yeah,
seats?
do you think it's sad or impressive?
I think it's very impressive.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I think it's very impressive. And you know, the commitment of getting up early in the morning too,
Yeah.
for that long. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
horrendous.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Horrendous.
I know.
You know, you've signed contracts. They're a gun to your head.
We tried moving breakfast radio to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They wouldn't go for it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Anyway, what a nightmare putting this season together, hey?
Yeah, look, it was a really tough year. We always say it's going to be big, but this was really tough. And the weather was really hard on us.
Yep.
We got a lot of rain, and it was 70 acres, and each contestant's got 10 acres each.
Yep.
And it turned into a mud pit, the whole site. And we had 200 men and women on site. We had a car park. You know, we had to build car parks. We had to put 6 bridges in because there was a creek running
Yeah.
through the middle of the valley.
hindsight,
So we sort of knew all that, but our civil
Yes.
works were huge, roads and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that's
And the
drainage.
tyranny of distance. Like, you can't just pop down to the shops in Melbourne because you're on the outskirts.
Well, we're lucky because Macedon Ranges has got all those
Yes.
little, boutique
Boutique-y
places.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, a lot like Kyneton and Gisborne. And
They
all
are
those places.
gorgeous.
They've
It's
got
a
all those-
beautiful area.
Beautiful. And they've got lots of little places you can go buy stuff
Yeah.
for trinkets and things like that. And food was around the corner and all that sort of jazz. So it was, and not too bad. And Melbourne's a bit of a different beast because you're only 35 minutes out of the CBD.
Yeah.
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 When you're in the bush, you've got horses and cattle.
Yeah.
And you're 35
Yes.
minute drive. So, look, it was really fantastic, really great, but it was just really hard. It was
And
tough.
there's a trade shortage as well.
Well, we've got what's going on around the entire
Yeah.
country is supply chain issues, labour issues, and we've got like a network behind us and a lot of contacts. So I can only imagine, I've said this in a few interviews with the press and that, the mums and dads out there, they've got to be doing it
Yeah.
extremely tough to do a reno or a build, and the builders as well, because we found it tough.
Yeah.
And we've got...
And you've got everything on
we've
your
got
side.
everything,
Yeah.
behind us.
Well, you put the big shout out to everybody to see if you can get on board
Yeah,
right
we
across
did.
the board. Did you get inundated, or it was still trickles to make sure it got
look,
up? And,
we got a really good bunch of couple of gangs of carpenters, young guys, which
Yeah.
I really love. Like they're in their 20s, right? And there's a gang of like 6 blokes turn up, and so we all have photos and we talk and hung out, and they worked for last month.
Yeah, great.
And they did all these external decks that was common work that we needed to get done.
Yep.
From our side of things, not the contestants, and they just moved from house to house. These boys.
Yeah.
Where were they
And then
sleeping?
They were driving from Geelong, which was an
Oh,
hour.
it's every day?
Every day.
Yeah, right.
Getting there,
Geelong.
Getting there at 7 in the morning.
I just thought you would have had like a Splendor in the grass tent
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
Well, we could have, but it was covered in mud.
So that would have been Splendor in the Glass from this year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It was exactly like that. But yeah, so that was really great to see all these young guys working hard and being. Yeah, I love that camaraderie of the carpentry
Yeah.
team, the gang, coming together and getting it done for the common cause. It was brilliant.
Okay, we're not going to go too hard on it because I've been told that you've been told that you're mouthing off about them too much. But the influencer couple,
The Will Cow.
we've all read all the stories.
Yes.
To be completely honest, and this isn't in general to any influencers, so I don't want them to get insulted. But when I saw there was an influencer couple on here and I read about them firstly, I rolled my eyes and thought, personally, I just think. I like it when I see just everyday Aussies on there that are battling, and these people do a post and get how many bloody products sent to them, and
Yeah,
I just
100%.
thought, they don't need the help. That was my personal opinion right at the start.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that as well, and really at the end of the day, the block's not for everybody, and we don't wish them any ill, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I love working hard.
You just say what you want to
say.
say.
Mouth off, and
It's so funny.
And I had like 40 journalists in a room, and I mouthed off. And they
all wrote a story.
They're looking happy with what you're saying. I'm going, yeah, I'm saying the right thing. Yeah.
Well, they all had a conniption. They busted pencils trying to write.
iPhones are blowing up in the note section.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, as I said, the block's not for everybody, but it's just a matter of you've got to ask them, if you can get a hold of them, ask them why they left the block.
And get what version.
Well, Joel's talking about his mum, isn't he, the whole time?
Yeah.
But they never ever, and I'm going to say it so Scott doesn't have to say it again,
Yeah,
they never ever told anybody that works at the block that they needed to have time off.
Yeah.
We've seen people's mothers pass,
Yes.
and you guys have shut
We've
down
seen
production.
sick children.
We have seen it all.
Everything, and you've really looked after the contestants.
You've got a very high duty of care on the block, and that's
We
a
do.
fact.
And you know, family absolutely comes first for us. As you said, we've shut the show down in the past for a week, and we've got like 150 people's jobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stop. We're all stopping for a week, and we'll reconvene a week later. We've done that in the past. And if anybody mentioned to us, I need to go and visit someone because of an issue, we'd be the first to whack them on a plane, and off they go. And in fact, the contestants that replaced those guys, Rachel and Ryan, they're terrific people from Sydney. Of course, it was short notice for them. Their kids weren't settled, you know, like they left their kids quickly.
Yeah.
And so she said, my kids aren't settled. So we flew her home for 2 days.
Yeah.
Straight back to Sydney. You come back. We'll handle things here. Don't worry. As soon as you're ready to come back, you tell us and we'll fly you back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And 2 days later, she came back.
Yeah.
So if you mention that to us, we're the first to fly you home or do something, look after you. But that never got mentioned to us.
Well, Scotty, just to let you know, I'm a bit unsettled. I haven't been in Bali for a couple of years. Is there any chance?
You can
Mate,
fly us to Bali.
I'll be flying you there tomorrow.
That's how good they
You
are.
care about people.
I know. And what time would you like to leave? And have you got oversized luggage? Like
Of course they have, too, sir.
Hey, Scotty, we did a thing like a few weeks ago. I live in an apartment block, and there was a problem with the bin room door, right, at my apartment block. And what it was is, there's just like the latch and hook that you have in a caravan.
Yes.
So basically, that had broken, and we asked our strata to get us a quote, and the quote came back for $495 to replace it.
Champion tradesman. Look at that. He's straight onto that.
Hey, you know who fixed it?
Me.
Did you?
I spent $11.40 on a hook, and then I went down there, and it took me 2 minutes to do it.
I think you might have got touched up with the $11.40.
Well, you can get trade prices. You're right.
For about $4.
But we did have one tradie ring us up, and a lot of them actually disagreed. But this one bloke gave us a call and said that he sees there's nothing wrong with that quote, because when he prices quotes, he prices for what could go wrong rather than what the job is at hand.
That he doesn't know what he's walking into, that he doesn't know what's required, he doesn't know how many trips to Bunnings he's going to have to do.
If nothing goes wrong, do you readjust the price and take it lower? And he goes, no, you just quote high. Talk to me.
Well, I just love the fact that you asked for a quote for that when it was 2 screws.
Oh,
yeah, it was.
Well, it's a strata.
That's
So
the strata way.
so I intercepted this quote.
Yes, well done.
And went, not on my life will we be paying this.
No.
Yeah.
Look, probably it's a little bit steep, and you're right. You got to put your price up. You can't get in your ute, drive all the way there, find out what's going on, then go back to the hardware store, get some stuff.
But all the information was actually given.
Yeah.
Nathan had all the photos, all the
we need this. This is the
whole
job.
Yeah. So maybe just 100 might have been all
Yeah,
right.
your basic call-out fee.
Anyway, would have done
So on that, I'm going to film it, and that'll be my application for the next season of The Block.
Yes, fantastic. It won't be you, it'll be whoever you're going with that'll knock you back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like
Sean.
we'd say, we love you.
Yeah, but Sean.
But your
Sean
teammates,
is
I don't know anything
what an
about
albatross around your neck.
He's one of those hire a hubby people that to hang a picture. He's one of those people.
As in,
No, I told
he's
you.
not one of the hire hubbies. He's the one that needs the hire hubby.
yeah.
Scotty, I've got neighbours around me, a couple of engineers, all retired people. So I go and knock on their door, and then I lead them over, and they go, "Oh, let me do it."
How many people ask you for favours? Like that knock on the door and say, "Oh, can you just come and fix this for us, Scotty?"
Yeah, it used to be a lot in the old days. I tell you, I did have an old doctor, Doc Carmody, his name was. He's passed away now, unfortunately, but he was a terrific bloke. He was widowed and he by himself, and he was an old fella. And he'd ring me up 3 times a week. And he lived sort of near me. So I'd come to his house on the way home 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And I go, "What's up, Doc?" Well, he used to call me boy. And I'd say, "What's up, mate?" And he goes, "Oh, I want you to have a look at this." And I go in there and I have a look at it. And I go, "I'll tell you what, I think we can get to this another time. Let's have a cold one."
Yeah.
And a couple back those days I used to smoke. Let's have a couple of. He used to smoke Kents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's have a couple of Kents and a couple of cold ones, mate. He goes, "Oh, okay, let's." So I'd have a few beers.
Oh,
with him.
you were keeping him company.
Yes. And then 2 days later, he'd ring me again.
He was breaking things at
He
home so you would
was.
come round.
Anyway,
He'd take
I
the light
loved
club
him.
out.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the light's not working.
Yeah,
I go,
yeah.
I'll fix that tomorrow, Doc.
Anyway.
Let's have a beer.
He was
good on you,
killed
mate.
by the patio collapsing. This
Yes.
company putting off. It was actually tragic.
I used to do some things for him every now and then. But three days a
Not
week
the
for about
patio.
5 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's
that's
a
so
beautiful
sweet.
thing.
That's awesome.
You know what? Everyone should really do that. If there's an old person
Yeah.
who's living by themselves and you can sort of feel like they've not got any
Go around
visitors
and drink their
there,
beer.
Go around there. Really try your hardest to get into the wheel.
And I used to, I'd get free Kents and cans of VB as well.
And
So,
medical advice?
It's good all round.
Did you hit him up for medical advice? There you go.
And what happened was, this is a funny story. I was getting married, I think, at the time, and he bought me a electric knife.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember electric knife?
Electric
Yes.
knife.
Because knives are so hard to use.
And then one of his relatives is getting married, and I said, "Oh, you're getting him an electric knife, Doc?" He goes, No. Much better present than that." That was just for me.
Bless him.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. It's so good to see you in
Yeah,
person.
lovely.
It's been so many years since it's been possible. So we can't wait until the block returns
I'm
on
Googling
Sunday.
electric knives. I want to see if you can still get
You can.
7 o'clock.
We've got one. We've got one at home. Yeah.
Do you have one?
Yeah, use it.
What's it for, like carvery or something?
Yeah. So
do you use
does
it for?
a
But how old
roast.
is it?
A ham?
And does it plug in or is it cordless?
No, plug in.
Plug in.
Plug in.
How's it
Have you
plug in?
had it for 40 years? Or is this, is this a wedding present?
I think you can pop down to Harvey Norman and pick one up today.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Electric knife.
They got those different knives that you lock into each other and then you bang
Electric
them.
knife,
Yeah.
Harvey Norman. Here we go. Yes, and it does have a cord. Oh, come on.
At
Are we
this
living
day
in
and
a
age,
world where
everything's cordless?
No, we haven't moved on with electric knives.
$44.
That's expensive.
It's inflation.
Well, this one's $74.95.
Oh, la-di-da.
They call it the Carve Easy.
Did you think you'd be coming to a radio interview to talk about electric
It
knives,
was
Scotty?
bound to happen.
Oh, we have the budget to get these. We should get these and give some away this week.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Sean.
The judgment is in. They're both idiots. That's what the judges said about Premier Mark McGowan and billionaire Clive Palmer. He literally said they've wasted the court's time with this defamation case. Unbelievable stuff. So Mark was rewarded $5,000 in damages and Clive...
other way around.
20 and Clive 5.
So Clive's a professional litigator. This
Yes,
won't
and
stop
he
him.
brought this
He's
action.
been told, because he's got people who are on these books 24...
And he's got all the money in the world. He doesn't care.
He's got to put them to work. But yeah, I'm with the...
he doesn't have to put them to work, by the way. You don't have
He
to.
does.
You don't have to bring action
It's like,
against
mate,
people
you
for
guys
the
gotta be
sake of
doing
it.
something. Let's just
Yeah.
buy this one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as the judge said, that is wasting the court's time.
No, it is.
And all it does is make lawyers rich, is the outcome.
Oh, my God.
See, that is the big problem going forward.
Well, no, the big problem going forward is no one knows how much it has actually cost the taxpayers.
That's right.
yet.
Yeah, well, they need to hide it as long as possible because we're all going to be outraged.
They said it's in the millions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the $20,000 is a drop in the ocean.
That's okay. We got 20,000 back.
No, it's going to be +5. I'm led to believe.
Now,
Like, that
when
is
you
ridiculous.
so there was no winner, was there? Because they were both awarded.
Yeah, so there's no
usually a winner
cost.
will bear costs.
Yes, no cost. The loser would bear the cost, yeah.
Oh,
the taxpayer bears the cost, and people are going to fire.
I know.
Right.
They
You can
will.
see
But
it
he was
a mile away.
so what happens? So like, there's no good scenario. There's no happy outcome. As soon as somebody sues a premier, he has to defend himself, and because he's being attacked as the premier, the state has to pay for it.
Well, I would say to that, you have a decision to make, though, when you are in that position, whether you want to keep going and attacking back, because you're putting yourself out there to be sued.
By suing him for defamation.
Remember, Mark's got a whole council and media advisors around him. So they should be shepherding him in a way. But, it was working for him at the time, so it was going hard.
Yeah. So we need to use that $20,000 and we need to invest it in the new TikTok. Or
the next big thing.
We need to, find a really good punter, a professional punter. We know one. And then give them the $20,000 and see if we can make a few million. Or crypto.
Crypto's on the way down.
I know, but there's always a new crypto. There's always a new crypto. We need to do something with this 20 to try and get a few
I do agree with you, though. I will stay out of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of
well, you famously buy high and sell low, so you would turn the $20,000 into $200.
Yeah. Or Sean would, today, buy shares in Blockbuster Video.
That's so true. No, I can't deny any of that.
Nathan, Nat and Sean in podcast form.
Hunted finished up last night.
Did 18 fugitives on the run, and last night's mission was to get to the extraction point to...
Get to the chopper!
Yes.
Get to the chopper.
It's pretty desperate times.
Very inconspicuous bright red chopper that anyone 300 miles away could see. One of our WA boys took out the win last night. Hi, Rob.
Hey, guys. How are you?
You bloody champion.
Well done, Rob.
You were great on the show.
God, like doing it for WA or what?
I know.
I swear, I've never been more proud of a possible criminal.
Well, Rob, jump. It's so great you had...
It's a talent.
You're the first in the helicopter. So great. You had the win and everything. $100,000 like we're all thinking about it at the end. But then, then someone else gets in the chopper, so you're down. But then we find out you're also...
Some Victorian got in the bloody helicopter.
Yeah, did you think about pushing him out?
You're sharing the money as well, aren't you? Did I read that?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, maybe give him a couple dollars, but
yeah. Look, I think that out of all of the fugitives that were on the run, you and Jacob just seem to have just a lovely time out for breakfast and staying in people's houses. You both seem to do it really easy.
Well, we're good at faking it. No, actually, we spent so much time getting to know people, and obviously with my type of work, you're constantly chatting to people. Yes. So bringing down those barriers first and just slugging them with, can we have food?
Right. Well, it was amazing to watch you literally befriending strangers and asking, and, some of the other teams had to do this as well, where you're flagging down a stranger and saying, I'm on the run, can you please help me?
Yes.
Now, most people's instinct would be to say no. Was it an uncomfortable conversation?
Oh, 100%. Look, no one knows, moving forward for fugitives in new seasons and stuff, it's going to be so much easier because people will be aware of what you're doing. For us, we're asking, 30, 40 people for help, all of them saying no, and then you get the odd one that would.
Yeah.
So you'd have to, Rob, you'd have to explain to them, wouldn't you? We're doing a TV show for...
Nope. You weren't allowed to say any of that.
Well, you got a cameraman standing right next to you.
So I'm sorry. It was said last night. I think Jacob said it last night to someone. I'm a fugitive on the run. Can I help? And guy goes, yeah. What are you talking about? Who are these people?
It would start off with, your cameraman would be so far away from you, so people would just be like, what the hell is going on? You're telling me you're a fugitive, and you're trying to wink, hint, hint.
Hey, Rob, you seem like you really enjoyed chucking the wig on and a dress and, putting the makeup on, mate.
It was amazing.
Do you think white chick straight away, Nath?
White chick straight away, especially Jacob. I mean, when Jacob's face was falling off at those drinks of those people, I'm just like, dude. But your talent, because we saw some of the other people trying to disguise us. I mean, the two priests in the park playing Frisbee, that was ridiculous. but we saw your talent. You're very talented, and every one of your disguises look like legitimate hair.
What an amazing advantage.
I was very lucky to go in with that sort of planned out. We have so many wigs, so many different styles, and me being the person that I am, very OCD, putting together descriptions of exactly what would go with what, different outfits, and then having it all compressed into my bag. I had 40 kilos of just disguises. In the back.
Wow.
Makeup, all of that. I had airbrushing guns. I had everything.
Where do you work, Rob? What salon?
So I have my own salon in the northern area, so just in North Beach.
What's it called?
Yeah,
give yourself a plug.
It's called Robert Crispin.
There you go. If you're on the run, go there. It's amazing. Hey, I want to know about the cameraman situation, right? Because say if I think Starthy was the other night trying to hide, and then he was running
behind a tree.
A big metal skip bin.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So say if you, Rob, decided that I want to jump in that skip bin and hide. Can you force your cameraman to get in there instead of standing outside and filming? How much control do you have?
When it came to that sort of situation where we're in having to hide, we would tell them, we would be like, get in here or hide behind here, but
don't worry about the shot sort of thing.
Time in learning, just hiding with us.
Yeah,
they were like a team member for us.
Okay, because we're just like the cameraman's
I know,
the
it's
thing that gives you away.
Yeah, and slows you down, especially when you're on the run.
Like, so many people are saying, like, oh, but the cameraman. I was like, they were so stealthy. You have no idea, like, how small the cameras were. It just looked like another person kind of filming you. It looked like kind of vlogging more than anything.
Well, some of the stuff we saw on CCTV last night with a big camera on it wasn't quite that stealth, I would have thought.
Car scenes or anything where you're like really close, he had a bigger camera, and we weren't trying to hide away at that point, because by the time you made the phone call, you were exposed.
Of course. Now, how much did you know going in about the technology that they would have at their advantage? Because we saw some teams, lay the false trails and have, sort of half deleted messages and that kind of thing that were all red herrings. Were you told how much they would have access to?
So we had a fair idea of what they would have access to based on Jake's experience as a police officer, and like me being a fan of the show and like watching all the like UK series and the US series, and so like we kind of had a fair idea of what they'd be able to do. So it kind of gave us a bit of wiggle room to do all the taunts that we did.
Okay, quickly about the ATM situation, because I saw people go to the ATM multiple times. Why didn't people just go to the ATM once, right at the start, get all the cash out? What's that about?
Absolutely. Like, look, for us, we never intended to use the ATM once, just because, that was exposing ourselves.
Yes.
And we didn't have any sort of control over that sort of situation. So, like, for us, we were like, we'd rather have sold the cars to make money and do things that way. Oh,
yeah, right. Okay, and one final thing which had the hunters confused in the control room, and it's never answered. How did you and Jacob become friends? Where did this friendship start from? Because it's such an unlikely duo. Tell us everything.
Yeah, look, I think if you actually had us in the same room, you wouldn't think that, like, we have very similar personalities and things that we're into. I actually met him when I used to have a barbershop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he came in, like, he was good friends with my business partner at the time, and we ended up like getting chatting and stuff, and we ended up
become best friends.
We've been friends for 8 years now.
That's amazing. Because that's the one thing they're going, because they were outwardly saying he's a cop, and they were saying you look like a criminal. I was like, so where is this relationship? What is it?
The thing that I found really funny was that they said that he was the disciplined one.
Not so, you say.
Oh, mate, you know what?
It's definitely the opposite of that situation.
That's great.
I'm really, really proud of you, mate.
Yes.
You did such a good job.
Great
win. Representation for WA, and I think the most cleverest fugitives out of the entire
You played a smart game. It was really good. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And the inspiration you're going to do, the spate of crimes of people on the run
exactly.
now. That are going to be successful.
I have a consultancy fee, so hit me up.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Yet another big night for Australia over at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. We took out 11 gold, 12 silver and 12 bronze all in one day.
Amazing.
One of those people who have collected a silver medal is our good friend Greg Heyer with the 3x3 basketball.
Yeah.
Now, they played England in the gold medal match. So that was arch nemesis for starters. But it went down to the wire. It was an overtime result in the end.
It's an amazing game to watch. If you haven't checked out the replays, go to 7plus and you can check out. There's a DJ there. They've got lighting. The countdown's amazing. Here it is here.
Australia changed the starting lineup from This afternoon's session, Jesse Wagstaff will come off the bench. Tom Wright gets the start.
Well, that was the previous game against England, the way they got in there.
Yeah.
Greg, hi, come in from Birmingham.
G'day, guys. How are we?
Greg, you are amazing. We're so proud of you, and just personally letting you know that if it's a choice between like jewellery or any medals in my home, I always choose silver over gold.
You've always said it.
I always have.
Yeah, I literally saw my beautiful children, and my daughter goes the same. She goes, "Oh, I love silver better than gold." And I'm like, "Darling, you don't know the economy." And,
oh, Greg, do you know? Oh, that's a good question. So the gold medal, what would it be worth? Does anyone know?
Oh, it'll be worth $15,000, which pays for my airfares at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
there's that.
Funny story. Hopefully work isn't listening, but I actually don't have a return flight back yet. So I could have the longest trip ever. No, well, so obviously only 2 weeks ago I found out I'm making the team. So I was like, all right, sweet. And then once the family decided to come, I put in my request. But because Perth's the only place that is like doing international flights, and the Australian contingent team is about 600 people, I'm on a waiting list. So, and I prefer not to buy a flight back, so I'm literally on standby at the moment. So,
You just need to do something disgraceful and be sent home in disgrace. Then they'll get you out of there.
Oh, I'm saying the next couple of hours it's on the cards.
Mate, the swimmers are done, and yeah, they're loose. There's no doubt they're making mistakes. I mean, I'm a very silly person, and I have no responsibility over myself, so I can only imagine how they'll be in a few hours. So, hopefully they kick off the flight.
But that's right. If you want to get a flight home, just go lay a brick down at the front of Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, get yourself deported. That's what you need.
Dinner corn for dinner.
How far do you reckon? Like, if I go nude walking through, that will be enough, or like go to jail on it?
No, you need more.
Yeah, probably level up from there.
Yeah,
start there and then progress.
Yeah, definitely. Greg, can you talk us through, because for the people who haven't seen any of the action, talk us through the last couple of minutes in your game against England tonight.
It was, I mean, like, I couldn't, as bitter, like, bitter pill to swallow, like, I could have not been proud of the guys. Like, I mean, they've been down to 3 guys for the last 3 games. And as I said, like, I tore my groin and I was just, like, giving minutes. They were basically targeting me. To go down, like, if anyone hasn't seen it, like, DJ's shot literally, like, goes in the hoop and then rattles back out. This guy that literally hadn't made a shot all game, had airballed, like, 3 threes, hits a shot in the corner. He's from Birmingham, so it's like this ending.
Hometown hero.
It was crazy. But, like, I mean, you sort of in that moment, you go, like, if there's a way to lose, I mean, Sean, you know, like, you never want to lose, but I sort of had this moment where I went, like, I could have not been proud of the guys, as weird as that sounds. Like, we gave everything. There's moments in games where you lose and you go, geez, if I would have changed this, if I could have done that differently. We really couldn't. Like, I couldn't play all the minutes. Playing in front of a team that, like, we're getting booed, they're getting cheered.
Yeah.
I'll say because the rest completely screwed us at times.
Yeah.
Like, we needed to play our perfect game, and we played 98% of it. Unfortunately, lost by a buzzer-beating shot. Like, it's tough, but I look at it and go, geez, like, I could not have been proud of those 3 blokes. They've been unbelievable for these last 3 games.
Now, Greg, you're no stranger to, being rewarded for a sport, but what was it like getting up there and getting your medal?
Yeah, it was... I tried to contain my tears. I think, like, there was a lot of flooding of emotions. Like, one, I just went, geez, like, oh, God, how good would a goal would be? But then it was sort of like, this immense pride and joy. Like, 6 months ago, I was literally like 115 kgs, smashing a wheel of cheese and having a
cheeky cheeseburger.
And
I know, seriously, every time I told you guys, every time me and Greg would speak on the phone, which is every couple of nights, he would ring me from a drive-through, like getting a few sneaky sliders.
Zinger combo is my go-to.
We'd be going to the survey, telling me what chips should he buy. We'd be making decisions together.
Oh, Greg, so you had to cut all that out to shred a couple of kgs?
Oh, look, I mean, I'm 102 in in the last 3 months, and maybe better Nick than I was when I was playing for the Wildcats. And so, that maybe could have extended my career, to be honest. But in all seriousness, I sort of go, wow, I said to Ains tonight, I honestly don't know how long my body can go, and I was joking, guys, I think I'm done, and I hope DJ and Jesse, they take the program to another level, which I truly believe it. But it was sort of just I've had an unbelievable career, and I retired, with a championship with my kids there, and my son there, and I went, couldn't script it better. And now I'm wow, I came to the Commonwealth Games, I was in the village, just sharing those moments, doing it with my best mates, having my family here, just so many moments that I just look back and go, for a guy that can't pronounce the THs in terms of legal
9.5 fingers.
I've been pretty lucky, so definitely humbled and grateful for what I've accomplished in my career.
It'll be amazing in time to come when you keep talking about it to other people, and because it'll never.
I know.
I don't ever think it'll register. I was actually there.
You're always going to be the first medalist in 3x3 basketball. Always. So nobody can take that away from you. First Australians to win a medal.
Nah, no doubt. And it's funny, I think I'm the first guy with a full-time job that looks after athletes that were medalists as well. Even the very first day, someone introduced me and goes, Greg Hyde's a 3x3 player. And then their next one was like, by the way, Greg's an athlete wellbeing and engagement coordinator. He actually looked up to me when we're not in Birmingham. I was like, God, is that sad or not?
Yeah, I like it. A lot of people are meeting Greg at his current job, but once they found out what Greg was doing, they're going, why are you working here? Because I need money.
And also now you're winning medals and they're not. Do you know what I mean? The welfare officer's winning more medals than they are.
Greg, I want to know, is there competition in place for kids to get involved with 3x3 in Perth at the moment? Because I was talking about how it's the perfect game for parents because the match is
10 minutes long.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's my ambition. I'm working with 5 local governments, and that's what I want to do. I think, the reason why I've loved it so much, and it's, as much as it's only 3-on-3, it's the perfect sport for kids to get involved because they have to, at 5-on-5 level, if you hit puberty at 13, you just dominate, and then the kid that is skinny and isn't that good just runs around up and down for 10 minutes. 3-on-3 exposes to people, and so that's what I really want to do. And my next ambition is actually to really promote it, work with Indigenous communities where to get kids that may be in less fortunate positions to be able to travel around the world and give them those opportunities that they don't unfortunately get to experience because, when they play for state programs, they've got to be linked with clubs. I'm looking at, I'm taking a number of Aboriginal kids to Singapore later in the year to give them that experience and opportunity just so that they can experience what I've got to have and been really privileged to have as well, and they get the same opportunity as me. So there's no doubt that's the next page is when I get back to Perth is to really try and grow the sport from a grassroots level. I mean, you just saw tonight actually the one thing I said to the English guys, it's for sport that really, but people don't actually have those pathways. It can be create some incredible opportunities. So there's no doubt I'll be definitely trying to do that in Perth.
Brilliant.
We're so proud of you, Greg.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff, Greg. So it is time to get loose and just champagne, every beer that you can possibly drink and do that nudie run for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you end up getting back to Australia, we'll get you in the studio because...
check out the hardware.
And we'll smash a couple of zingers. I'm very excited.
I love the zinger box. Thank you, guys.
I know you.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.